If you are sick of getting ill every other week, feeling unwell and run down, and you are looking for simple, natural ways that you can strengthen your immune system so that you can go long periods of time, I'm talking years, without even getting a cold, without relying on pills and medication and antibiotics, then this video is for you. I barely ever get ill, and when I do, I recover really quickly, and I never really get the same colds as I used to. Like, very rarely I'll get really, really run down, and if I do, I notice it's because I haven't been doing certain things. So if that sounds like something that you are interested in, then make sure you watch to the end of this video. I just want to say thank you to everyone that has been commenting, supporting my channel. I really appreciate it, and I love to have conversations with you guys. So make sure you comment Friday. So make sure you comment if you do get any value from this video, because I love to read your comments and it really helps the channel. Let me let the dog out. So the first thing that I want to talk about is actually something that came to my attention this morning. I was planning this video yesterday, and this happens a lot where I'll be planning a video and then I'll be reading a book that I'm feeling called to read, and some information comes through that is intrinsically linked to the video that I'm making. And so I think that it's important to speak about this, and that is the connection of the immune system and the first chakra. So in Hinduism, they talk about the chakra system and there being 7 chakras, and I believe that different systems and different people speak about there being different amounts of chakras, and there actually is many more than 7, but in this video I'm pretty much just going to be speaking about the first chakra anyway, which is the root chakra. The book that I'm reading at the moment is called The Anatomy of Spirit by Caroline Mays, and she was a medical intuitive, and she used to basically help people to figure out what was going on medically in their body, and she would be able to diagnose or find the energy blueprint for what it is that they were going through and then help them to heal it. But what she figured out when she was doing her work as a medical intuitive was that she was actually seeing and using the chakra system. And when she learned more about the chakra system and other systems in different religions as well, is that there was many links to what she was doing and these other systems. And one of the things that she speaks about is the first chakra being linked to our tribal beliefs and actions. And one of the things that she mentioned, which I found really interesting because this is something that I have experienced, is the fact that we grow up in our tribe, in our group, our social group, and we inherit all of these beliefs and attitudes that the consciousness of the collective social group holds. And when we're young, we don't necessarily question these. We kind of just take them on and inherit them as truth. But as we grow older and as we mature more spiritually, or maybe we go through a spiritual awakening, we start to question these beliefs and these attitudes. And this is actually something that is very much linked to our immune system. And I'm going to give you an example, because let's say that in a social group there is certain beliefs to do with food. The first one that comes to my mind is the whole attitude towards breakfast. And for so long it was believed that breakfast was the most important meal of the day, and we were told that this was the truth. And I remember when I was younger, I didn't want to eat breakfast, and I never really liked breakfast. I just felt like I was going against what my body actually wanted. And now it seems as we move forwards, it's coming out that actually that was never true. The whole belief about breakfast being the most important meal of the day, apparently this was actually a marketing scheme that was created by Kellogg's, I believe. That might need to be checked, but I believe that that's who it was created by, to basically control the market so that they could get people to buy more of these cereals. The reason why this really resonates with me is because I remember when I started going through my spiritual awakening and just realizing that I really valued health in general, I started to question the diet that I was brought up on, questioning so many things to do with my lifestyle, and I really started to choose new ways of living that I found out were actually better for me. And I'm going to be speaking about these more specifically later on in the video, things that I actually do, but just first I wanted to explain this. So from my perspective of learning about this is that when the first chakra, the root chakra, is out of balance, or our energy is being drained from it, it might be because we are giving our power to the social group, meaning that any beliefs and attitudes that the group holds, we are not personally taking responsibility for them. We are allowing our power to be given and taken by them. For example, let's say that I had this belief that the woman's cycle is just a nuisance and it's just a nuisance to be a woman. Without questioning this belief, I am giving all my power to that attitude and I'm not taking responsibility for those thoughts and beliefs. Whereas if I start to shift and question these beliefs and look into it deeper, I'm able to take power and take my power back, and I'm able to choose how I want to relate to my body. I can also ask myself if the thoughts and beliefs that I have are empowering or disempowering. You know, the whole being a woman is a nuisance is kind of more a victim state of consciousness. Like, oh, there's nothing I can do. Whereas when we start to actually learn about our bodies and the specific gifts that gifts that each week brings us, we start to actually take ownership of the power that we have as women instead of feeling victims for just being a woman. I'm now going to go on to speak about some more practical ways that you can boost your immune system, and these are things that I have learned to do and become more consistent with because I have noticed that they are really, really good for my body and help me to not get colds, not get ill. And also, if I do get a cold, like for example, when I got COVID during the COVID pandemic, my COVID was so bad for like 4 hours. And then I'm going to let you know what I did to get this to pass so quickly. So the first thing that I'm going to mention is meditation, guys. Meditation is one of the things that I've noticed has increased and strengthened my immune system the most. I remember when I first started getting consistent with my meditation practice, I did not have a cold for about 2 years. I remember thinking, oh my God, I haven't had a cold for like 2 years. And I do credit this to my meditation practice. There's already so much evidence and research and studies to show that meditation is really good for the immune system. One of the examples is that when we meditate, we're in the present moment. So if you can imagine, if our consciousness is constantly being taken and our energy is being used up, because thoughts are energy, if our energy is being used up on these cycles of thoughts that are just perpetuating and getting bigger, especially if they are stressful thoughts, and stress creates cortisol, which is not good for the immune system. If our energy is being used up on these thoughts, then that energy is not being used to heal our bodies. So if we start to meditate and we start to choose where to focus our attention, where to feed our energy, we are able to send our power, our consciousness directly to places in our body that we want to heal. And I literally did this the other day. I felt like I was starting to get run down and come down with a cold, and it was literally a couple of days ago. I had a sore throat. It literally came on so quick. I had a sore throat like here a little bit. So I chose to get in bed and just focus all my attention on that area. Mostly I was just sending the energy there and meditating on it. And I also did take some tea, which I'll be talking about later. And the next morning I woke up feeling completely fine. I did not have a cold. I was pretty much brand new. And from my experience with colds, usually that doesn't happen. Usually you get a sore throat, you start to feel like you're coming down with something, then the next day it gets worse. So this is a very good way to strengthen your immune system, and you're basically working consciously with your immune system. And there's obviously many other studies and research that go into meditation, but I'm not going to go into them all now, but that is just my experience. The next thing that I want to talk about is herbal teas. And this also comes back to the social beliefs and attitudes that I was talking about in the beginning of the video, because it is very normal in our society, in this part of the world and other parts of the world, to think that the way that we cure our illnesses and diseases is through medicines and pharmaceuticals. And a lot of people are starting to question this belief and whether there is better ways to do things, like maybe choosing more preventative methods and living in harmony with the earth. And one of the amazing things that I have started to learn more about recently is herbal medicine and medicinal plants. And this has been a really great ally for me on my journey, because even that night that I was just talking to you about, where I meditated on my sore throat, I also took a cold season tea, which consists of lots of different herbs like yarrow, marigold flowers, thyme, sage. I think that there was a couple of others, but basically teas that must be good for immune system support. That is another thing that I did, so maybe that helped. I also think that taking ginger teas are really, really good, ginger and turmeric, for boosting our immune systems. This is all stuff that you can go and research and look into deeper, but I just wanted to mention it because I am also still a student and learning about medicinal herbs. I absolutely love it. If you have any herbs that you love and that you have built a relationship with, let me know in the comments, because I'm still learning and I would love to hear your perspective on it. So another thing I think is really important, and I'm just going to talk about this quickly because you all probably already know this, is eating healthy and exercising. This is something that is obviously going to help build and strengthen our immune system. I don't need to go into that too much. You know, the next thing that I think is so important is listening to our emotions and needs. And this is a weird one because a lot of people probably don't realize how much this can affect our health. And it really, really does. And I'm going to give you an example. When I was working in recruitment and I was working in sales and I was working a corporate job, which was not in alignment for me at all, I was getting unwell all the time and I didn't want to go into work. And partly I think that my body was just like, for one, I wasn't looking after myself. I wasn't listening to my body's needs, and I was ignoring the fact that this job wasn't for me. There were so many different things that I wasn't listening to, and I was really getting unwell a lot of the time. When I quit the job and started to really listen to what my body needed, all of this stuff was linked, and I really started to get better. And that was around the time that I started meditating all the time, and then I started to never get ill ever again. But obviously I have been ill a few times, but not as bad. So another one is getting a good night's sleep, and this all links in and ties in, because what I've noticed is when I am listening to my emotions and my needs, I really want to prioritize getting a good night's sleep. Let's say that I am doing something the next day, like working on a project. I want to get a good night's sleep for this, because I want to feel my best and do my best for that and show up in the healthiest way that I possibly can. So there is a lot of research to show that getting a good night's sleep is so important for us. And I'm also not going to go into all of that in this video in too much depth, because I am conscious of time, but definitely research getting a good night's sleep and how beneficial that can be. And the next one I want to talk about is breath work. And breath work has been shown to increase and strengthen the immune system. Wim Hof has done many scientific studies on this. There was actually one where he did a study where they like injected himself with this like flu or infection or something, and he was able to like literally, by doing breath work, increase his immune response and stop that infection from infecting him, or whatever the infection was. Look up that study. It's so interesting. And so it proves that we can actually consciously choose to strengthen our immune system if we want to. And linked with breath work is the hot and cold therapy. I mean, Wim Hof's method is to do breath work with cold baths, ice baths, and ice baths have also been shown to boost the immune system. Doing regular cold water dips or cold showers is also a great way to boost the immune system. And obviously there is so many other ways to boost your immune system. These are just ones that I pretty much live by and love to implement into my daily routines, because I have really felt that they have completely shifted my life. And of course, the Hermetic principle of cause and effect does state every cause has an effect and every effect has a cause. So obviously, if we are looking after our bodies and listening to our systems, we are more likely to be healthy and we are more likely to feel better and have lots of energy and power. So with that being said, that is it for today's video, guys. Have you tried any of these immune boosting methods? Which one has worked best for you? Let me know in the comments below. It really does help the channel when you comment and give me your likes. So please do that and subscribe so you don't miss any other videos. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.